What's up everybody, live with the Peperoni here, and we're going to be doing a video on memory lane. So the last quite a few months I've been helping my parents clean out their old house, the house that I grew up in, the place that started it all per se. I've built a lot of cars out of this place here. Everybody knew it. We always had all the cars parked in the street, on the lane, in the parking lot. My dad built us a pretty good sized garage for the neighborhood when we were younger, and it's been a lot. Like, I don't remember the house being empty ever. Like, we moved there in 2002. I was 8 years old. The only memory I have from being that old was riding my little razor scooter in the basement. It was full of concrete. It was just, we had this little ramp there, and me and Stefano would just ride our scooters in there. My little brother was 1 year old. I think he was born that year. And that kind of just started it all. It was a really cool house. The family actually had a lot of offers on it, more than my parents ended up paying. But the Murphy family saw that they were a young family. We were just like new baby and stuff, and he made my dad a deal. My dad if any of you guys have ever met my dad, you know he's very outgoing, very talkative and stuff. So he made a deal with Mr. Murphy, and Mr. Murphy said, for as long as I'm alive, you can't knock down this house, and I'll give you a good price and we can make a deal. And well, that's what happened. There was 7 or 8 kids in the house when they were growing up. I think it was built in 1938. Mr. Murphy bought it brand new. And back then, as we would meet people throughout the years, everybody would always stay at my house, stay at our house. We were kind of we call it like the orphan house. We would always have random friends and everything show up. If they needed something to eat, we fed them. Everybody hung around. We were always working on stuff. We were very grateful. We were a very friendly community house that made a lot of memories here. And it's not like that anymore in this neighborhood, but at the time, growing up from 2002 onwards, it was super cool, super sweet. It was a great experience. We would always do crazy stuff. I was into downhill mountain biking and BMX riding, and we had 3 jumps in my front yard. So I'll try to post photos right here, but there would be one little jump and then another jump and then a pretty big jump that you could probably get 15, 20 feet air. And for a couple years there, our house would just be people would find it, and it would just be people would go out of their way to come past our house and just jump these ramps every morning on the way to work and stuff. And we would put cones there and stuff, and luckily nobody ever got injured, nobody ever got in trouble and stuff. But it was that house. It did not fit in. It was always a bit messy. There was always cars there, and it was just really cool. It was I think the last kind of era of that generation and that place. But fast forward 25 years, I don't live there anymore. My brother moved out quite a while ago. My parents are moving to a new place, and it's just coming to an era. So I kind of go through a slideshow of photos and stuff that I've kind of spent the last couple weeks of gathering through all my photos and all my photos and hard drives, because I always used to bring my camera everywhere with me. There was an 8 or 9 year instant. I used to blog every other weekend, every adventure. I've just always I have hundreds and thousands of photos of just over the years, whether it be my house or not. But I'm just gonna go through, post fun memories and stuff, and talk about them, as well as just my favorite projects and kind of how it all began. So I'd say my first real project and everything, I was still in high school. I would always find automotive and cars and stuff cool. Like, my dad wasn't really into them, but he liked them. They always took us to car shows. My dad's always been into motorcycles, which I've mentioned in the past, but they were super sweet. So I remember being on my computer, I don't know, I was probably on MSN or something back in 2010, 2011. I was just on Craigslist looking for car parts. I was, I think, 14 or 15. I didn't have my license or anything, but I was just searching, and I saw this 30 Ford coupe for sale. It was a primer gray coupe. It was super weird. It was kind of built with a big baseball cap on it. As you guys can see here, I'll find some photos. And it was posted for, I think it was $1,300 or something. Yeah, so it was this primer gray 30 Ford coupe. The dude that was selling it, his dad passed away. He was into S10s and other cars, so it really didn't interest him. It was up for $1,500. It looked super cool, and called up the dude and everything. Got his emailed the dude, got his number and everything. Got it. I had been working for Vaglio Fireplaces since I was like 11 years old, under the table. We were at the coffee shop up the street, and he came in, Brad, and he was like, "Oh, do you guys know any kids?" And my dad was like, "Oh yeah, like here we go." So I'd been saving up, and then my uncle and I had a deal. I was really big into sports back then. Every home run was some money, every try, because I was playing for Team Canada and Team BC for rugby back then. Every point or try, I would get a bit more cash. So I would just save all this money. I would race RC cars and buy and flip those. It was always hustling. So I had a bit of money saved, considering I was 14, 15 years old. And went to this dude's house and everything. He was kind of giving us a hard time. He was like, "Man, I got so many offers. I got this and that." And I was like, "Man, I'm 14 years old, 15 years old. We had a deal, and everything." And anyways, ended up selling it to us for $1,750 because I didn't have the money. My parents were kind of out of money because they were already adding a couple $100 and stuff. They were bringing us out of the way. So that kind of started this journey of old cars. So finally, within the next couple of years, was rebuilding this thing. We ended up having a youth program through KMS Tools in Port Coquitlam, or in Coquitlam, called the CUP program, Customs for Urban Teens. It was a volunteer program. That's where I met a lot of the friends and people I know now. And I was just buying parts from there. Then eventually they had invited us to actually join the group and kind of learn. Did that, built a 65 Impala, painted by Gene Winfield right here, which now Benny Fisher owns. And yeah, brought the coupe there. They were grateful enough to help me finish up a frame, build it all strong, because the first time I ever drove it, my dad, I don't know if it was my dad or me, one of us went to drive it up our hill, and my dad, in ordinary fashion, tried to do a burnout, and the whole rear ladder bar snapped. And it was oh no. So we had to dolly it down the hill and stuff back to the garage. And that was that. Then, like I said, we rebuilt it, had a Ford 302 in it, had a C4. It was built to be a fendered car, so it was it was a really oddball one, as you guys will see. And yeah, finished that. Then after that, a dude walking down my hill offered me some decent money on it, and that kind of led me to buy this other car that I really wanted for a long time. Did a bunch of stuff to it. It was a 64 Oldsmobile Dynamic 88 on hydraulics and stuff. Our friend Adam Clark had it. It was super cool. Didn't actually drive it. Completed the motor swap and everything on it. I put a LT1 out of a Camaro in it. Full fuel injection and everything. So after I built the coupe, I kind of got a 1970 240Z. And this is the car that, like, locally I was known for back in the day. So a person in that youth program, one of the teachers per se, he had this dad, him and his dad were building for the last years or so, and they just both lost interest. Wasn't their jam. And I kind of mentioned I liked them and stuff. He overheard and ended up selling it to me for a pretty good deal. I had gone, and this is when Speed Hunters, I guess this is 2013 now? 2014. Yeah, 2013, because I graduated in 2012. So this would have been 2013. I got this car, kind of did it was kind of like before the internet was like really big and popular, and all of like ordering online with stuff. So I had Benny order me some coilovers and stuff, get sent to the border. He picked them up for me, and I got this car going. It was pretty low, pretty ratty. I really like ratty cars. The car was pretty low, it was pretty ratty, it had flares, super wide wheels. It's exactly what I wanted. And I drove that thing around for a couple of years. That car kind of put me on the map, and from there I had bought like other Japanese cars. I bought a 1980 Toyota Corolla that I did the shark nose, I extended the front end. I imported some taillights from a 1972 Nissan Skyline, put those on the back. That car actually is in some museum now in California. And a couple other cars, or a couple other things, I mean, not cars. And that's kind of like my teens and early 20s. That's kind of like I was into those kind of cars. We had built my brother's Chevy Nova, which he was, I think, 13 or 14 when he got the car. Just again, seen it on Marketplace, or back then it would have been Craigslist. It was a really weird car. So it was a 70 Nova, but the people had put a 74 front end on it, but a 79 Nova front suspension and clips. So like over the years, nothing has ever fit. So we finally recently put a normal subframe under there. And that's like gonna be, he just wants a drag car, just like a fun drag car. He's got a really, really gnarly 355 for it. 12-to-1 compression, 4-speed, a bunch of other things, but I'll post a photo right here. But yeah, built that. After that, I kind of bought my Buick. I got a phone call from a friend of ours, and I'd been bugging this guy since I was like 14, 15. Like, I remember going to car shows back then and telling him, I'm like, man, when you ever sell this car, let me know, because I will buy it. So fast forward to, I think, 2016 or 2017, I get this random phone call. And it's like, hey, is this Elio? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, hey, it's so-and-so. I have the Buick. For some reason, I woke up today and I just don't want it. It's not doing it for me. So if you want it, you've been bugging me for almost 10 years. I guess 5-6 years, not 10 years. But he's like, now's your chance. So I'd been saving up money and stuff to buy an apartment. So we settled on a deal, and I drove that car home. It was kind of one of those things, after seeing it for a very long time, not knowing, and being the only one around, and then purchasing. It was kind of like a dream come true back then, which was super sick. And at the house, I've replaced a lot of stuff on it. I replaced the roof on it, just in the driveway. I replaced the transmission, did a bunch of like little stuff, but not too big, because the car's too long to put into the actual garage. So that was kind of it. So I just always just drove that car around in the summer. My dad there was always a concrete pad behind the garage. It was like a 12 by 26 concrete pad, and one day my buddy Nate was like, hey man, like, we should start building tables. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, I'll do the wood, you do the metal. We'll start building some really high-end tables and try to get ahead in this world. And I was like, honestly, I got the place, we just gotta build it. So what we did, we built some, kind of built a whole lean-to on the back of my garage, put a door on it, well, my parents' garage, put a door on it, and that was kind of our wood shop for at least 5-6 years. I'll post photos up. And that kind of like, it did get us ahead, man. We were building some really nice tables. And it's funny because Nate, just the past 6 months, he started building tables again, and I've been building legs for him again. So if anybody needs like a really nice river table with some really cool steel legs or anything, like, shoot me a message on Instagram or Nate and we'll get you sorted out. But yeah, so I started doing that for a while. And then in 2019, I want to say, these are just like all the big I'm gonna be posting throughout here like all the little like projects and cars that have like come and gone. These are just like the big full-on projects. 2018, I want to say. 2017? No, it would have been 2018. So 2018, my buddy Jono, my best friend at the time, we're still good pals, but it was just different back then. Born Free was kind of a big thing back. It still is a big thing, but like back then it was like still the beginning stages. It's this huge gnarly show in Southern California. And I had this XS 650 motorcycle sitting in my backyard under the bushes and stuff, but like it was under a tarp. I knew it ran, and I was like, man, like I got this. A couple years prior, I had bought a 54 Panhead, which is the bike that I mostly ride now. Well, used to ride lots, I'm still rebuilding it because I want to ride across America next year. He came over one day because, man, that was a time where we would just come by, pop over, and they would just show up. They would know I was home because I literally just lived in the garage pretty much. So I was always doing something, and it was kind of one of those things where all the homies would just show up and we'd have ideas. So he showed up one day and was like, hey man, there's this show in Southern California in 6 weeks, Born Free. I was like, oh yeah, like it looked gnarly last year, like would you want to go? He's like, yeah, but like neither of us have bikes. And at this time I had just finished the Sportster the first time, but I was like, I don't really want to ride that bike that far, like it's just not for me. And he's like, well, you have this frame and this Panhead engine and a couple other things, and there's an XS 650 in the backyard. Let's test ourselves and go for the biggest test ride that we can go on. So that's what happened. Pretty much built 2 complete bikes from like pretty much scratch in 6 weeks. And during that time, my brother had bought a shovel head because he was like, man, I should come. My dad brought out his bike from the old, like started wiping dust off of his, and it kind of became the first family big trip. A lot of people go on family vacations, but we kind of incorporated it all into one. So we called my uncle, and he has a 54 pan shovel as well that he's ridden all over. Like him and my dad used to go on trips, and it was one of the coolest things ever because my dad and my uncle Mark, they would just go, they would jump on like once a year, once every couple of years, we'd go, hey mom, where's dad? And she's like, he's on a 3-hour tour. And we're like, okay, well I guess we won't see dad for a week. And their first stop would be Winthrop in northern Washington, I think it is. And from there, my dad and Mark would just hit the road. And they would just go and they would have stories to tell when they came back. And it was just one of those things that, like, all growing up, it was normal for us to just know my mom would hold house and my dad would just go gallivanting. And I think that's where I get it from. I just thought that was so cool back in the day, and like the trust was there, the love was there. Like, I'm very grateful for my parents and the household that we grew up in, but it just taught us a lot of things. So it kind of was nice to experience that for like the first time with my parents. And well, like my mom would sometimes go, but like with just on the road with bikes and everything, it was just super cool. So we did this trip. We didn't quite make it to Born Free, but we met a lot of incredible people on the way. We did like 2.5 weeks on the road, always camping every single day. My mom ended up towing a trailer, like a motorhome, or not a motorhome, but like a little camp trailer with my brother's truck, and we just kind of like went, and that was super rad. So that was kind of that era. After the motorcycle stuff, I picked up this I picked up a 53 Belair hardtop that I wanted just a nice daily driver. This car had brand new interior, had a bunch of other things. It was like an early 60s custom. There was like gauges in the firewall and stuff. It was like a really cool car. But I'm a post guy, like 53, 54 Chev Post, chopped, sick. This was a hardtop, so although more elegant and like grand, just wasn't my cup of tea. So I upgraded the rear diff. It already had a Mustang 2 in it. I put a 5.3 LS in it with a standalone. I did like a turbo 350, and it had a brand new white interior. It was a super sick car. And then it was purple. It was deep purple. So I kind of had this idea that I do like a baby blue outside with a faux patina and then a patterned roof. And there I was. It was just kind of locked myself in the garage for, it was a month straight. And I just started laying paint, had no idea what I was doing, just had an airbrush and just kind of started laying lines and tape and paint, and turned out to be a really, really cool experience. And it looked sick. Like I'm so proud of it to this day. Like I almost cut the roof of the car off to just keep it because I was so happy and stoked about it. And then after that, it was after that car, I got bored of it. It was just like being a hardtop. I just wasn't into it, but it was a good driver. Ended up parting it out. I sold the drivetrain out of it to a dude, and then this dude named Tyler posted up this 1974 Ford Bronco. And at this time, I think it was like 2019 now. Broncos were like astronomically priced, and they still are. But at this time, they were going for quite a bit of money, and I offered my car as a roller for his like Bronco, as this is the rustiest thing I have ever seen. There was no floors in it. There was no quarters on it. The roof had holes everywhere. There was nothing not rusty about it, but I don't know what it was. I just like, my heart said go for it. And we're talking trading like completely rust-free, super, super beautiful, like not beautiful, like beautiful skeleton. The paint could have been painted over, but it was a really, really nice car for the super rusty Bronco. And I don't know, my heart said go for it, so I did. And it was probably March or April at this time. Over the next 4 months, I didn't have room in the garage because I forget what I was building at that time, but the truck needed to be outside. So I ended up doing absolutely everything. I put new quarters on it. I got new doors, did the fender flares, did the inside quarter panels. I learned a lot on this thing. Bead rolled all the floors and stuff. So built this really, really sick 4-wheel drive rig because that's what I kind of was like into that time. I wanted 4x4 and I had other 4x4s and stuff. So I ended up building this thing, and in this whole thing but finished the truck and everything, did all the suspension, did long travel, did so much stuff on it just for it to drive absolutely so bad. It was so scary to drive. I know why they call it bucking Broncos, because they're crazy. They are bucking Broncos, and I did so much suspension work to this. I did all the long arms, I did all the leafs, I did literally everything, and it was every shift you would shift, it was just wild. It was a crazy vehicle. It 4x4'd really well, but as far as drivability went, it was not fun. So I took it for what it was. I did a year of wheeling, daily drove it, and after that I was like, you know what, I'm gonna put this thing up for sale before the market dies, and had some dude buy it, and that was that. So after that I got into dent sides, like 74 to 79 Ford trucks, which I still really love and have. And then after that I got into drifting. After that, I got into, I started up, I got my own shop and stuff, and kind of moved out of the Vancouver house and got into drifting. And that's kind of like the last car and stuff that I built at the house. I had like a 2001 E46. I did it wasn't really a build. It was just kind of like maintenance and like suspension and stuff. But I think that's like one of the last cars that ever came out of that garage. No, my Corolla. Corolla is the last car, but yeah, there's been a lot of stuff. And I'm going to show you guys around now. So once I got into drifting, I got the BMW and everything. That was kind of like the last car I built in this garage. Actually, before that, I built a Toyota Cressida with a 1JZ that I actually built here too. I built like this really, really grandpa spec car with 300 horsepower. That was super fun. Kind of got bored of that, which then led to the BMW. And then I started drifting that. And then along this whole time, I had already purchased the Corolla and I wanted to build that. So I kind of like sold everything that I had left, like drift car wise, and consolidated all that to put all the money into the Corolla, which then led to no car for a couple years. So we're in the garage now. It's not that big. It looks really big in the video, but it's a 26 by 24 garage. It was a really nice size for my CNC table and one other car, and built a motorcycle and stuff. So along with that, like it's a good size. I'm very grateful for my parents and everything, and I kind of stole it from my dad. My dad bugs me now. He's like, oh, now I can start doing my stuff because I'm not in his shop anymore. Because at the new house that they're moving into, they got a really nice size shop. So you can see through here that here's a wood shop that we built. That's a nice like 12 by 26, and that's kind of where we would do all the woodworking and stuff for the tables. And along there, so yeah, like right here on this bay, I'll show you guys a picture probably from this angle right here. That's where I built my 30 Ford Coupe originally, and going up the hill and stuff and driving. And then along here was all the tools. We had like a couple different situations and stuff, like of how the shop was set up. I guess it wasn't until 2017, 2018, I had the whole garage to myself, where before that we still had another car named Dumpy. I'll post a photo up right here and a bunch of other stuff. So maybe it was 26, around there. So yeah. So thank you everyone for watching. I know it wasn't a Roadster update per se, but it was a life update, and there's been a lot of stuff going down lately. Had to put my dog down the other day and a bunch of personal stuff happening, so it's been quite a lot on me, and with the move and everything, I just couldn't find enough time to actually go do a bit of work on the Roadster, and I committed myself to you guys for at least 1 year without missing any episodes, and I have to make a video when I can and what I can, and it's got me thinking, and I was like, with all the moving and everything and all of this, it kind of brought back a lot of memories. We're going through a bunch of papers and photos of the past, and I just wanted to share with you guys my story and kind of like how I became. It wasn't necessarily that my parents were fully into cars. It was just kind of an interest in myself and always being mechanically inclined. Every day from school, from elementary, I would always draw cars to high school. Like I said, I got that coupe when I was quite young, so to go from high school coming home, I would hardly go to parties, I would hardly go out with friends. I was either mountain biking or working on my car at that point. I was playing sports too, as I mentioned, but that was just a huge part of it. So I would go to school, come home, work as much as I can. Didn't make a lot of money, so kind of just learned to make do with what you got, and that's kind of led me to where we are today. So hope you guys learned some things. Hope you guys enjoyed my story and what it's become and how it's gotten me here. And I'm very grateful I have you guys that I can share this with. And even if I spark one of you guys, like, does a lot for me. It's like reading the comments and going through the comments and seeing how I inspire you guys, and the motivation and stuff is super sweet. Like, I enjoy it so much, and it definitely pushes me harder and harder to like make sure I'm doing something and getting it done, and it just spreads the love, you know? So thank you guys for watching, and girls, I'm gonna be putting a 15% discount on my website with a Peperoni 15 discount, and the whole website's gonna be 15% off. I'm still shipping to the States and everything, so if you guys want to support me, there's a pretty good Black Friday thing. So thanks everyone, take care. Next week we will be back on the Roadster because I won't have to deal with this anymore, and then I'll have to unload the other side. So enjoy, take care, have fun, and don't forget to smile. See ya.